So recently, I've invested in a home gym setup. This is because of the current situation we're in. Everyone's in lockdown here in the UK, and we're not allowed to go to the usual training facilities we normally train in. So the first sort of equipment I looked into was a barbell. Now, a barbell is really useful because you can basically hit all the compound movements with it. Your squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, pretty much everything you can use with the barbell. And it also adds specificity for barbell athletes such as powerlifters, weightlifters, crossfitters, etc. So having a barbell is really versatile, and if you need a very small space, you can literally just have barbells, plates, and a rack, and you could basically hit every muscle group you need. So this is the Shrink Shop 2029 Power Bar. This has the chrome finishing on it. It actually comes in two different finishes. You have the chrome finish, which is the one I have, and the black zinc one. But unfortunately, at the time of the recording, the chrome finish isn't actually listed on the website, and the black zinc one is on the website, but it is out of stock, which is understandable because of the current situation we're in. Barbells are very high demand, so the supply might not be kept up. I have the link in the description down below, so you can check out for when the stock comes back in. This has a straight steel 29mm diameter shaft. It's 2.2 meters long and it weighs 20 kilograms, which is the same for all power bars in the world.
You didn't get "in the world" right.
Oh, yes I did.
You
in the
didn't?
world.
No.
In the world.
There you see.
So when choosing between the chrome or the black zinc finish, even though they're the same price, there's a couple of factors you have to consider. Chrome is more slippy than black zinc. However, chrome is more easily maintained than black zinc. Chrome is more durable but can occasionally flake. Its fairly cheap cost for a powerlifting bar comes with a few points that you have to understand. This is only listed at 260 kilograms of max load, so anything above that would be considered as unsafe or unusable. The bar could bend and it could be unsafe to lift that kind of weight. Also, it has a fairly low tensile strength for a powerlifting bar at 185 kpsi compared to the fairly high-end powerlifting bars such as the famous Ohio Power Bars, which is listed at 200 kpsi, or the Eleiko IPF powerlifting bar, which is listed at 215 kpsi. So this bar has a fair bit amount of whip in it. However, whip doesn't really affect your training if you don't have a high enough weight, but it is fairly evident compared to other really good stiff bars. This bar is not IPF approved, which means that you cannot bring it to competitions. It's not up to powerlifting competition standards. Unlike the Rogue and the Eleiko Power Bars, this doesn't have a lifetime warranty against bending. However, this is a very good economical alternative to the other power bars, as the more expensive high-end power bars might be too much of an overkill, or maybe too costly for people who are less experienced or less strong, or even people who didn't want to spend as much money on their home gym setups, because you have to consider the cost of the weights, the rack, the bench, etc. to get a basic home gym setup, and the costs could pile on really easily. So why did I come to choose this bar? I came to choose this bar because this bar is quite cheap for a powerlifting bar, which is quite a high priority for me when investing in a home gym. I do not want a very expensive setup. I just want something that I could load myself and get back to training. As simple as that. It's fairly powerlifting specified, it's very cheap, and also I simply don't have enough weight plates, or I'm simply not strong enough to be lifting that kind of weight where I have to care about the width, the tensile strength, or the max load. So just a quick summary on the pros and cons from my experience using this bar for a few weeks now. The pros, this bar has all the knurlings and the rings on the places that they're meant to be. So they have the same sort of distances from the ends as a competition powerlifting bar. So when you set up for a bench, you know where to place your fingers. It also has a center knurling, which is good for squatting. Some very cheap bars in commercial gyms that I've been to don't have a center knurling, and they make squatting hell. It has a fairly coarse and aggressive knurling, which is great for when you're doing deadlifts. It allows you to have a better grip on the bar. However, the knurling might be too aggressive for some people, as I had a period of time where I had to adjust to the aggressiveness of this bar. It might be slightly painful when you're doing your sets or your reps, because it kind of digs through your fingers. If a whippy bar is a concern of yours, maybe you don't choose this bar. Also, if you're strong enough to lift near 260 or even above 260, this bar would not be for you. That said, this is a great bar for all your strength training needs, and it is very cheap for a power bar, which is the main selling point, I think. It's a very high quality bar for what it's worth, and I think it's definitely good enough to be in your home gym lineup.